Today I'm going to talk about a somewhat touchy subject for many people, and that is when your partner is complaining to his ex about your problems. And this is specifically with regards to PDA, and I want to make a difference between PDAers and non-PDAers. When you have pathological demand avoidance and you're having a meltdown, you are actually not really in control of what you're doing. It's not like you can be rational and decide what you're doing. You're panicking, and therefore you might do things that you might not do at other times. So keep that in mind. If you are in a non-PDA relationship and your partner has this behavior, you may want to address it with him, and that's fine. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't if your partner has PDA, but there has to be a little bit more understanding there, I think, anyway. So here we go. Dear diary, yesterday we had a huge argument. It ended with him leaving the house for several hours. When he came back, he was texting his ex-wife as usual. He always does this when we have fallen out and tells her all kind of stories about how crazy I am and how I have treated him unfairly. Always painting a picture of how he's the victim and I'm the villain in the story. She will always agree with him, call me names, and suggest that he leaves me because I'm not there to support him the way that she used to or would if they were still together. He clearly deserves someone better than me, someone like her that loves being the caretaker. So, your partner is complaining to his ex about your argument, and he's painting up a picture of how this argument has played out and what's happened and whose fault it is and so on. And your thought is that he should not be running to his ex with our problems. You will feel betrayed, and when you feel betrayed, you will withdraw from the relationship. And that isn't serving you, and this doesn't serve him. You will together probably create quite a hostile environment where no one trusts anyone, and you're just having these ill feelings towards each other. So if you instead could choose and see this from a different angle, if you like, that your partner is having a meltdown because you have had quite a bad argument, and this always happens when you've had arguments, so he does not have anyone else to go to, because normally he might be going to you, but in this case he just needs to have his feelings and his thoughts validated from the outside, and the only person that might be willing to do that might be his ex-wife. So if you could feel this way, you may or may not be able to feel compassion, but at the very least you should be able to feel more accepting of his behavior and understanding of why it's happening. And when you do that, you will be able to give him your support. And the more support you give him, the more trust you're going to be able to build in your relationship. And as a result of that, things might actually change in the future. So I just want to point out that during a meltdown, he may actually need this validation from someone external. And it might not have to have anything to do with you as such. You're just a subject in this story. Whereas you, my friend, you have different tools. You are able to choose your thinking. You are able to choose what you want to think about the situation to actually control how you're feeling about it. He does not have that choice. So you are actually the lucky one in the situation, even though it might not feel like it in the moment. Am I saying that this behavior is okay? I'm not saying either way. It may or may not be. Totally depends on how you're thinking about it. But if you're in a relationship with a PDAer, you can't expect them to actually change this behavior just because you say so, and even less because you say so, probably. So if you want to be in this relationship and you want to feel good about this relationship, you will actually have to change your thinking around things. You cannot expect them to change because this is in the nature of the pathology, is that every change or every demand from someone else will just make it much worse and less likely to ever happen. So you need to be a bit more empathetic and understanding that you would probably have to be in a non-PDA relationship, and you need to find a way of being okay with that if you want to stay in the relationship anyway. It is entirely possible that your partner will change his behavior, but most likely not because you are asking him to. So you could do this by building trust and show you commitment and so on, and it might take a long time, but just be understanding for now and try to find a thought that works for you. Hopefully this has triggered some thoughts for you that will get you thinking about how you can generate results that will serve you rather than just reacting to the situation. And if you like the idea of changing your thoughts in a way that will make you feel better, I will encourage you to hit the subscribe button below so that you will get reminders of my weekly videos. Thank you very much for watching. I will hope that you will have a great evening, and I will see you next week. Bye!